What's up, ballers? Jacob here with AllDriveNoDrop, talking about the Enhance Banger. So, as you know, I really like the Enhance Dink Master that they put out. Excellent training tool. So I figured I'd check out what they're doing in the paddle space because it looks like they're making a little bit of a play. Price at $159.99 going down to $139.99 with code AllDriveNoDrop. Excellent price for an edgeless paddle. As many of you know, edgeless paddles usually are over $200 for most of the edgeless paddles these days, like the 6-0, the Holbrooks, the Selkirks. We're talking a lot of over $200 paddles. So to get a $140 paddle, and guess what? No spray on grit. No spray on grit. And they did it cheaper. What's going on? How did they do it? How did they do it? I don't know. I really don't know. How are they getting the price point? So what's the performance of this, right? What's the performance? Because great price for an edgeless paddle. I mean, really just a, you know, like a pretty good price overall anyway. It's right there in the average price range, but does it perform? That's what we want to know. And as you can tell, it's not always an indicator, but you can tell the ball dust collects on this paddle. So we like the grit already. We'll get into the performance now, but let's jump into the specs real quick, and then we'll jump into the weight setup, and then I'm going to go into detail on what I think this does on the court. Let's go to the specs. Okay, so as I said, this is an edgeless paddle. It's thermoformed with perimeter edge foam, and it does not use spray on grit. So that is, I don't know if that's a first for edgeless paddles. I'm racking my brain here, but yeah, awesome there. It is a hybrid shape. It's got the T700 carbon fiber facing. It's 16.34 by 7.36 inches. Nice little hybrid shape there. 7.9 ounces. Nice lightweight paddle. 5.4 inch handle length. 4.1 inch grim circumference. A swing weight of 108. Very good for a hybrid. Of course, the edgeless usually brings down that swing weight. Twist weight of 6.21. I think it plays above the twist weight. This has a very good stock sweet spot. Very good stock stability. I'm going to throw that twist weight out the window. So let's jump into my weight setup and kind of a cool thing they put on there real quick. We'll check that out. Okay, as you can see here, they put markers. So they put little spaces where they're suggesting you put weight, which is pretty cool for people that don't normally put on weight. And then they also sell these 3-gram pre-cut balance pods. They are like I think it's rubber tungsten, so no lead. So that's nice that they basically give you the weight and then they give you the spots to put it if you want to customize your paddle. So I played around with different weight spots since you have a lot of room to play with how lightweight this paddle is. I tried a few different things. So if you put the weight just here on this second spot here, the 3 grams on each side, you go up to a 111 swing weight, 6.72 twist weight. That plays really good. I really like how it plays there. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go up because I usually play my paddles around 120-ish swing weight. So put the 3 up here on each side. And it goes up to a 118 swing weight, 6.9 twist weight with both of these on here. I really like it in this setup. And that is my preferred setup. But if you don't want to go up to a higher swing weight, you really want that benefit of a lower swing weight, I think you just put it here. You could even put both here and try that out. But really cool that it comes with these spots to put it on if you want to use those pre-cut strips. So let's jump into the gameplay. We really want to know how this paddle performs on the court, and then we'll talk about how it stacks up against some of the competition. Okay, so let's talk about how the Enhance Banger performs on the court. I think that the Enhance Banger, so, you know, talking about its stock, let's talk about its stock real quick. Sweet spot is an average sweet spot for a thermoform paddle, and I'm not talking just edgeless, I'm talking all thermoform paddles, which that's really good for an edgeless paddle, right? So, you know, plays way above the twist weight there. You would think 6.21 on a hybrid. You're like, oh, is it going to be not that great? Honestly, stock form, pretty stable. Yeah, on the sides, you know, off-center shots, on some of those faster drives, it can get a little twisty. With that weight setup, even if you don't add the weight to the top and you add that weight just above those bottom corners, performs super stable. I think that's all you need if you're just looking to get the added stability and you don't want the added power, added head heaviness. This paddle is head light stock, so that moves that sweet spot down the face a little bit. So if you are looking to move that sweet spot up and just get more plow through, you can add some weight, even not just at the top corners, but a little bit below. So with this great spin, we're talking 2143 RPMs that I registered. That's a great spin these days, right up there in the elite level. No problem. You can see from the gameplay, I'm dipping the drives just fine. I was getting a lot of action on those. I think too, where this paddle performs really well is on those backhand and forehand rolls. I think with an edgeless paddle, the swing weight doesn't tell the story all the time. It's because, you know, when you're cutting up through the air, you can get it a little bit quicker with the edgeless paddle. So love the rolls on this. And as far as like the feel, usually like some of the edgeless paddles, they feel a little hollow, say like the Selkirk Power Airs or the AllDriveNoDrop. This one does not feel hollow. You actually get a nice pocketing of the ball, some decent dwell time in that sweet spot. I really like the feel of this. Usually I don't like the feel of edgeless paddles. This felt awesome. So, you know, you get that nice little softer, springier feel. Not like amazingly soft, but way softer for an edgeless paddle than you would think. As far as the power level is really enough to get the job done, especially like with how much room you have to add weight. With my weight setup, when I get it up to that 118 swing weight, it's hitting nice. Like, it's not hitting as hard to say like one of my favorites, the Spartus Olympus, but you're getting power up there with like, say, a similar setup, a little bit more than like a stock Honolulu J2K with my weight setup. You're getting more power than that. So plenty of power to get the job done. And then the pop off the face, very consistent with that sweet spot, getting as much pop as like a bread and butter fat boy. So plenty of pop to, you know, finish points with counter punches and quick strokes at the net. And then with that great sweet spot for this paddle, especially, and then even bigger sweet spot with my weight setup. No problem with the resets and the dinks, just great control and consistency on those. Had great off the bounce speed ups as well. So overall, really impressed with the Enhance Banger. You know, going into an edgeless paddle, I'm always, you know, I'm probably a little pessimistic and not looking forward to playing with edgeless paddles usually, but this one surprised me and I really enjoy it. So I'm definitely going to recommend this if people are looking for an edgeless paddle and they don't want to break the bank. So let's jump into my conclusion and comparisons. How does this perform against the competition? Because in the edgeless world, it does seem like the edgeless paddles have kind of slowed down a bit. Of course, Selkirk keeps pumping them out because that's just, you know, one of their trademarks. But the Selkirk, or I guess Holbrook just pumped out too. Maybe it's not slowing down. Sometimes it slows down, sometimes it doesn't. I think for this price point, it depends what you want. I'm going to classify this as just a really solid all-court paddle. So if you're someone that really liked, say, something like the 6-0 Double Black Diamond Infinity, I think this is just a pure upgrade. So the pop is like around the Fat Boy pop level, so it's more than like a Double Black Diamond regular classic, but not more than like a Fat Boy. And the paddle face itself doesn't feel as stiff as like a Fat Boy. Probably even feels a little softer, maybe, than a Double Black Diamond. Around that softness level. So it's in an interesting spot because it's not going to excel like you see Banger and you're like, oh, that's a power paddle. It's not necessary. It's not really a power paddle. But you can bang with it. I think some of the best paddles to bang with are all-court paddles. Lets you keep your control better. So it has that pop level of the Fat Boy. And then, so this paddle has more power than the Double Black Diamond Infinity, and it has more pop than the Double Black Diamond Infinity. I think the Double Black Diamond Infinity maybe, you know, could be, Double Black Diamond Infinity is slightly softer, but honestly the sweet spot on this is better. So it's just a great all-court edgeless paddle if that's what you're looking for. You know, some people really like how it cuts through the air with this edgeless. This, you know, this edge that they got on here actually, you know, it seems like it's holding up pretty well with the reinforcement they have here. I was talking to Connor from Enhance Pickleball, and the factory he has to build this with said that they discovered a new way to make edgeless paddles. As far as what that actually means, I'm not sure, but it seems like it's holding up pretty well to me. And I am one to maybe drop my paddle from time to time. I'm not throwing it. I maybe drop it. But yeah, it stacks up pretty well as a good all-court paddle here. So for that $139.99 price point after the code AllDriveNoDrop, I think this is an easy recommendation if you're looking for an all-court 14 milli all-court paddle. You know, it's not going to blow you away with the power, and it's not going to be uncontrollable pop, but it gives you enough of the combo to make a great all-court paddle. So that's all I have on the Enhance Banger. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I appreciate all the support. And you know what? Go play some pickleball today. I hope you have some fun.